part of this, can I sit and pay attention to my breath and not have it feel effortful, or have the effortfulness of it get in the way of being able to be there for it, involves what to me is a coming together of doing, we can call this doing, and being. To be present is effortless. To do something is effortful. In the practice of law, we do a lot of doing. But there's an awful lot of opportunity for being present while we're doing. Not like I'm present before I get to work, and then I'm doing all day. But actually having it flow across the entire landscape of the day. So, the SoBe Mindful Method has 4 primary elements of nature. These elements are the tree. Well, actually, let's do this, because I know some of you probably did. It's at 10:30 and I have to go to the bathroom and you've been patient. So let's do this. I will begin with or get to the SoBe Mindful Method when we come back. But one element is the tree. And there's a doing practice with the tree. We're going to do something, so when you go out, at some point in time, if you're paying attention, and you might have to force yourself to let it be the first thing you see when you come out the door, because you may just forget about this entire thing until you come back in. And if you do, that's okay, because that's an amazing observation if that happens. When you see a tree, you stop. Okay, so it looks like this. And you adjust the posture, which is sort of like looking like a tree. Okay? And then you continue on. So, we'll take a 10-minute break. The 4 elements that are part of the SoBe Mindful Method that we'll be exploring are the tree, the wind, the clouds, and the sun. Okay? We'll be exploring each class a little bit, and then you'll be taking it outside with you, if you will. And here's the reason why. Pay attention closely. We sit and practice mindfulness for any of a variety of reasons. It could be that you sit just to feel calm. That works. You go for it. I think there's more, but there's certainly that. We sit to see more clearly. In that moment, be more observant, more aware. We sit to perhaps have it where we're developing a skill set or a capacity that serves us well when we're outside and we're about. That's where I think it becomes very important in the law, especially. Though feeling more at ease is hugely important in the law. Or having a capacity to be able to feel more at ease. So that when we're out and about with people and in any environment that we're in, we're more aware. We're less somewhere else. We're more alert and attentive and engaged and present. We're less, to your very important observation, somewhere else. And when you sit and practice, you will probably notice, I'm lost in thought. I completely forgot about my body. Oh, my heart is this, or my belly is this. Oh, my shoulders are this. And you don't have to search it out. All you gotta do is just notice, pay attention. And then a few moments later, you'll be thinking about something else, and then eventually you'll realize it. You come back. So there's this little tug of war that's going on. But bear in mind, it's not a tug of war. It's a remembering I haven't gone anywhere. Those are 2 very different states. One is my mind, I'm thinking about tomorrow's thing. Oh, why can't I let me come back here. And the other is going, oh, there I am. Never left. Those are 2 very different. One's effortless, almost. The other's a bit effortful. Right? So when you're practicing, and there's all these thoughts, because your mind is wandering, and there's all these sensations because you're agitated, and there's all these feelings because you're confused, and we're just having a roller coaster of a day. That's your experience. We're not interested in changing it. But observing it the thoughts, feelings, and sensations is a different experience than the one you were having a few moments earlier. And that's what we're interested in exploring. Does that make sense? Okay. So what was it like for those of you who remember when you walked out and saw a tree? What did you, who forgot? Who completely forgot? Thank you very much. If I had a present, I would give you a present for your brutal honesty. Who remembered? Okay, what was it like for you to remember? Okay. Oh, who hasn't spoken yet today? I'm very interested, by the way, and I'm interested in everybody, everything I have to say, but I'm very interested in those who make sure everybody is able to speak. Yes, okay.
I didn't realize that we had trees in the school. I mean, it sounds so weird.
No.
I didn't pay attention that we have trees here on the bricks, basically.
Yes. This is, by now everyone has probably seen or heard about that video of the people playing basketball. You're supposed to count. Here's, in case you're not aware of it. We're not going to watch it because too many people by now know. But you're watching people, a team, sort of bouncing a ball back and forth to each other, playing basketball, and people are told, count how many times the ball bounces. So you're counting 1, 2, 3, and then what happens is a person dressed up as a gorilla, not a small gorilla, a big gorilla, comes in, walks into the center, does this, and then walks out. And most people don't see it. Now that speaks to the extraordinary capacity that we have to be attentive and to focus. But it also speaks to the fact that we're now shutting away, cutting off an enormous amount of what's there in front of us. And you know this when you've been looking at for something and it's like your mind is probably somewhere else even though you're looking. And then you like go, what, where is this? And then it's like right in front of you. And it was there the whole time. But that's to me a very powerful bit because there's such beauty in this environment that we have. And there's such a, trees are just inherently, well, what are some adjectives, adjectives we might have for trees? They are
Beautiful.
They're beautiful. They're tall. Strong. Steady. Confident. Right? These are qualities that a tree sort of just embodies. At ease. Right? Okay, so not to mention that they're just beautiful and they're there and they're a rich part of our connection with this world, but they also can be a nice reminder of those qualities that we all possess. Everybody here possesses each of the qualities that was just mentioned. And then we have moments where it's elusive, where we believe it's elusive. Okay, what else
I
did you
just want
notice?
to talk about, on the other hand, I've noticed from the first day here at school, the fountain, and how the water is flowing and how, it makes me calm. So whenever, I am anxious, I can just, be attentive and listen to the sound of the waterfall.
So very, very nice. You notice that you first said the waterfall makes me calm.
Yes.
But then you clarified, the way I would articulate, you clarified, you listen.
Yeah, not always, of course. No.
Yes.
I don't always listen.
I understand. I'm not asking for, is that always the truth? Is that the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I'm sure it's always the answer. Right, but notice the shift. Notice the shift. Like to your point, when you're not aware, when you're not paying attention, when you're somewhere else, this capacity, and remember, it's not the waterfall, or it's not the fountain, it's that you are paying attention to and absorbed in the present moment through one of its forms of expression. And perhaps the most immediate obvious benefit is that you're not somewhere else. But then there's perhaps something about deepening the capacity to be attentive, to really listen. We'll do exercises when Paul Singerman comes on listening, mindful listening. So very nice. But back to the tree. What else? What else was it like? We were more aware. And I think that I've shared a practice like this with lawyers and law firms, and one attorney said, we'll learn a practice called stop eventually. And he said, but it's similar, he said, I've lived in my home, come to work, driven to work every single day for like the last 15 years. And today when I got to the stop sign there was this beautiful tree right there. And I was like I said to somebody later on, when was that put there? And they said it was always there. And they said it was so beautiful. I can't believe I had that every day that I could see, and I never saw it, or at least didn't remember ever seeing it. So there's something very profound about that. People, it's like, oh my God. Not like I didn't realize you were here, but I didn't really see you. You know, I didn't really hear you. And then, of course, to ourselves as well. Okay, so this week we're going to be attending to the tree and a little bit of the wind. The tree represents the body. What do you think the wind represents?
Breath.
The breath. The breath, okay? You look outside, there's a tree, there's your body. You see the breeze, you feel the breeze. You see the leaves blowing in the breeze, you feel the breeze. There's the breath. I'm interested in being reminded, because I think it's easy to forget. I'm interested in being woken up. And I love it when we can be woken up by nothing more simplistic than the natural world in which we inhabit. So this week, periodically, we'll call it a punctuated practice. You don't have to sit, or you will practice for a sitting practice, but this is put a little post-it somewhere, tree, you're going to get a little handout, which is a little reminder. But put a reminder in your car, on your book bag. And periodically when you see a tree, or you do the practice because you know there's a tree in your midst, stop, that's important, and adjust the posture. Now notice that there's this, right? So you might even, if you're so inclined, in whatever way is comfortable to you, given where you are, but I encourage you to not let other people get in the way of your well-being, to stretch out and stretch the fingers a little bit, okay? And even, we'll do this when we, in fact, let's stand and let's meet this tree. So you stand, have a little space so that you don't bump into somebody else. So first, and this is, notice this, we are doing something. This is a doing practice. Because we were just walking, and now we're stopping, and now we're adjusting the posture. So let's adjust the posture. It's good to have we know that. Not rigid, not uncomfortable, but just an adjustment upward. And then let's do this, and let's stretch the fingers. Just let the fingers wiggle. Now what is it that you notice might also be happening in the spirit of the next element, the wind? What's happening now?
We open our chest,
And there's this breath. The breath becomes apparent sooner or later. But let's also do this. And now we're sort of looking up and we're putting our head back so as to not strain, so find a comfortable way. And this is really sort of like a nice stretch. And it's also, I'm going to share with you, like, I'm here, I'm open, I'm receptive, I'm ready, right? And I'm also a little vulnerable because I'm interested in moving into this life in a way that's courageous, confident, as was said. Okay. And then we lower. And so in whatever way you choose, if you're in your backyard, if you're just walking by and you just want to do this, do the doing practice with the tree that you come across your midst for just a few seconds or as long as you would like. Okay? Now the breath has a doing practice also. Here's the doing practice for the breath. We inhale, and then we exhale. You can inhale through the nose or mouth and exhale through the nose or mouth. It can be nice to inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth as if blowing through a straw. And here's the thing. We're inhaling a little slower and we're exhaling a little longer. So I'm going to suggest we inhale to the count of 4 and we exhale to the count of 8. So it looks like this. Inhaling, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, we'll come back to that count next week with a couple of different practices. You don't need to do a 4-8 practice. But to breathe in a little slower, allow the belly to, and then to exhale a little fuller. It's a doing practice with the breath. And so the doing practice with the wind would be this. You're walking, and it's like you feel the breeze. You're like, oh, thank you. You stop. And then you continue on. Okay? So 2 practices to bring into this week out there. And you see, play with it the way you do, but at least try every day to do each one of those. And you can do them together at least once. Right? Try not to have it be like this. Because that's not the intention.